is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
There we go. Okay, now we got you. Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you all are doing well out there. Yes, sir. Love it. It's a Wednesday. It's a hump day. I can feel crypto warming up again. Although yesterday was a great day for us Polygon people. And we all are, well, not we all, I'm saying some of us just started doing the Neutron dance yesterday. Okay? I'm just saying. It wasn't, what is it, the Pointer Sisters, right? Is it the Pointer Sisters that did the Neutron dance? We did the Neutron dance yesterday. We got into a small bag into Neutron. That was a new play we made with Neutron. By the way, it was like 122, 123. Where is it at this morning? Is it still right there? Is it going to slightly climb with the rest of the folks? Let me see what we got going on. Yeah. Anyway, so wait a minute. Okay, now I got it. Finally. Here we go. Okay, where's Neutron at? Ooh, 120. Yes, another little dip here. Maybe I might get into it here a little bit more now. Anyway, I like it. I like it. I like it. But it is a Polygon day. Right now, I'm watching Polygon. $7 up almost 20%. Tweeted out that we last month and I think it was November 26th, it was at 76 cents. And I was telling you, this thing's gonna pop pretty soon. And so just over a month, it went from 76 to $7 now. So you're talking a 30-cent move from 76 to a 30-cent move. That is an enormous move for any investor. So you are all welcome if you got on. If you got on even before that, even better by you, because it got down to like 50 something, 60 cents. Polygon. That was kind of the low of it. And that's where a lot of people were pounding it this morning. And a VeChain is up 2%. Chainlink is up 3.5%. Jasmy is up 2.3%. It's up to 73. By the way, anybody and everybody that got on the Jasmy train with me, you're all in the green. You're all in the green because you either got in at 35, at 40, at 45, at 50, at 60. I mean, it's at 73. So you're all way in the green with me on the Jasmy run. I don't know how many on the chat board right now. You could tell me I'm on the Jasmy run. You know what I mean? Like if you got in at 33 and 35, you have doubled your investment already. Just saying. And you're welcome. You're welcome. Not a financial advisor whatsoever. We just happen to kick thorough freaking ass in crypto. That's all I can tell you. Thorough freaking ass we're kicking in crypto. Okay? Bitcoin up 1.5%. It is approaching 43,000. It's at 42,964. Mini little dip. It's actually really good for the newbies to get in on a little Bitcoin, especially before the ETFs and everything. Because once the ETFs get approved in early January, it's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks for them to get the funding going, to get the whole ETF going, to explain it to all the investors from all of their firms. And so then so it'll be like a cycle. It's not going to be like on January 8th or 9th or whatever, right when they approve it, Bitcoin's going to go up to 150,000. It'll start moving, but it won't start moving that quickly. But it'll take a few weeks. And then we're going to get into the halving in April, where half of the supply is going to be only produced. And because the demand is going to be the greatest it's ever been with institutional money coming in, cha-ching, 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 okay? Because these ETFs, the 13 of them are going to be approved here in the United States. Japan is going to be approving a bunch of ETFs, and then China, and then Germany, and others. So there's going to be Bitcoin ETFs all over the world. And that's where they all have to fund those ETFs. And how do they fund them? By buying Bitcoin. Now, by the way, I am not an ETF guy. Just right. I'm glad it's coming. People want to invest in it. Fine by me. As I've told you, you don't do shit like that. Okay? You don't buy Bitcoin and leave it somewhere else and have someone else hold it. You don't buy ETFs because you don't own the Bitcoin. They own the Bitcoin. You're just investing in it, that whether it's going to go up or down or whatever. And that's all. You're making a play on it. You don't actually own it. They own it. So to me, none of this is, it helps me because I'm a Bitcoin holder and you out there that are Bitcoin holders. But the way to do it, the real way, is you literally buy Bitcoin and then you move it to your own cold storage wallet. That's how you do it. You own it, no one else. Okay? So make sure, just want to tell you, the ETFs are great for us, investors, fantastic. To me, the people that are investing in the ETFs, those people are Mickey Mouse. But I appreciate it because a bunch of Mickey Mouse people will help, all of us that invested make a little extra money. So thank you to all. You're not very smart, but I appreciate it because, hey, you're helping us in the long run, which, that's I'm here to help all of you, This is the only show in town that makes you money. Only show in town that makes you money. Anyway, James Gleason says, Big O, sorry if I've missed it before. Any info you can share on the various crypto exchanges? I know you cover the coins. You know, I got to stop screwing around. I got to start doing a show. I got to start doing a crypto show. There's enough material now, and it's more of a positive thing, and I don't have to walk you people off the fucking ledge all the goddamn time like I did in the bear market. There's a lot of good stuff going on, you know, just like I turned some of you on to Neutron. Yes, James, this is what I would do, my brother. Gemini, I use crypto.com religiously. Okay. Never had a problem with it in 3 years, ever. No issues. Okay. I know Binance is out there. What's it called? It's the other. Exodus. Exodus is another one. A little expensive. The fees are a little too cheap. I mean, a little too steep. But you can buy crypto there also. Kraken, another one. Again, buy on any exchange you want, then move to your cold storage wallet. Now, here's my thing. When you buy $10 of Cardano, don't go moving it right away. You know what I mean? Accumulate. Buy another 5, another 10, whatever. And then when you accumulate 100 or 200 or 300 or 400, then you move it over. It's a minimal charge, so it's not really much. So it's not going to be a big deal. But Bitcoin, they're going to charge you. You know, it's like $17 to move Bitcoin, $16, $17. So you're going to want to move as much as possible. Now, I'm not saying to store it forever on these exchanges, but you are going to have to store it for a certain amount of time while you accumulate, so you can then move it over to your cold storage wallet. And then, as I said, cold storage wallet, a Tangem wallet is a great wallet. A Trezor Model T, I love that wallet. So, you know, Exodus is a custodial wallet too. Kind of, it's not a cold storage, not hot. It's kind of like warm, because you need your 12 words. So Exodus is another one that you can use too. But again, for buying purposes, you'll figure out what the commissions are from the different, you know, some may charge you a little bit more. Learn to use DeFi, like a Uniswap or something like that, a Pancake Swap or something like that, because if you learn how to connect your wallet and then buying it, it's also way cheaper than the exchanges, and you're able to move it right to your cold storage wallet right away. So these are things. Again, the best tip of it all, you want to learn how to use Gemini or crypto.com or a DeFi platform to your cold storage wallet, go to YouTube and say, I want to learn how to buy crypto on crypto.com. The video will come out. It'll teach you how to buy it. I want to learn sending crypto from crypto.com to Trezor Model T. Boom. Sending crypto from crypto.com to my Tangem wallet. Watch that video. There's a video for all of these things. Okay? Gemini, Kraken, Binance, what's it called? Exodus. How to use the Exodus wallet, how to use the Gemini wallet, how to use eToro, how to use whatever. There's a whole bunch of them. Now, make sure wherever you use them, they have bridges to move the crypto. If they do not allow you to move the crypto, don't buy it off of them. Okay? Most of them will. Most of the ones I talked about will allow you to move your crypto. So, you know, just do your homework. Okay? But you have to take the time. Do you want to make money? Take a couple minutes. Learn what you're doing. And then that way you can make money. Easy money. My Lord, I have led you guys to, I don't know how many coins that are making money. All of them. I don't have one in the red at all. So I've made money for all of you out there. So you're making money, right? Take the time to learn what the hell you're doing. So just watch the videos, and that'll you'll be able to figure it out. Okay, that's all. I just want you guys to be informed. That's the most important part. I got in at Jasmine 45 and loving that decision. Sneak attack. You know it, baby. You know it. You're at 45 and it's in the 7. You're close to doubling that pretty soon. That's some shit right there. And we haven't even started, cuz. We haven't even started this bull run because you got in a little earlier. See, that's the thing, sneak attack. Like, there's a lot of good entry points right now still. But if you got in 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, you really got in at the lowest part of the market. That was really the real floor of the market. Still got that cough, man. That thing's gonna stay with me it's one of those stupid little coughs that stays with you for a couple of weeks. You know, I haven't gotten any vaccine this time around. I normally don't get vaccines. You know, the only time I got the vaccine was recently when the pandemic started, only because I got 5 stents in my heart, so I can't take the chance. But now that it's watered down, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I didn't end up getting COVID. I ended up just getting a nasty little cold. I don't know what it was. Went through the whole house, actually. We all got it. None of us tested positive for COVID, but damn, dude. It's like that stupid little cough. It's not terrible, and it's not even phlegm. That's the weirdest part. There's like not much phlegm at all on this go around. It's weird. Anyway, too much information. Kyle Cockrell is number 1. Joseph is in. Miami Dolphins are legit. I've been telling you that shit the entire offseason and now. I've been telling you they're legit. I've been telling you all to enjoy, from the Hall of Fame to everything. We just need a little luck. Just a little luck with the injuries. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for the ball to bounce your way, which would be nice. Okay? I'm not asking for any kind of freaky helping. No. I just want health. I've had enough with injuries. Like, no more injuries. How about us getting some luck and injury-free, and then I really like our chances. Just give me a chance for the rest of the team to get healthy. That's all I want. That's all. Just give me back my Austin Jackson. Give me back my Rob Hunt. Give me back my Waddle. Okay? Right? Give me back my safety. Okay? I need my safety back. Okay? Javon Holland, like, I need him back like yesterday. Just get me the last few guys we have left. Get me back Baker. Get me back Chris Brooks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm good. I'm good. I think this team can win the Super Bowl. But enough with the injuries. That's the only thing I ask. That's the only thing I ask, because that can derail any season. You know what I'm saying? Enough with the injuries. Can we just get a little luck? That's all I'm asking. Front office has done a marvelous job. We just got to keep them somewhat healthy. Brian Walter says, Big O back from Maryland. Could have went to the Ravens Dolphins this weekend. My sister, 25 years, daughter's friend had tickets. They were not going. I did not feel like sitting in the cold. I don't blame you. Watching on television is a beautiful thing. And yes, the Hard Knocks was good last night. It was fun. It was, we'll get to it. It was just one of those things that just continues the roll for the Dolphins. James Gleason is in. He's pumped about Ravens week. Christian is in. Tiger Shark Tony, Horn Dog, Nizzle, John Padilla. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to you, John Padilla. Everybody wish John Padilla a happy birthday out there, all right? Gus 1388. According to everybody, we are getting slaughtered on Sunday. Yeah, well, of course. That's what they panic about. Frank Sharp. We'll get to Hateful Steve. Well, Hateful Steve is a piece of work. We'll slice him up good in a few minutes. Alberto Larios. Being underdogs builds character and resilience. This team has talent and is motivated to prove many wrong. Agree. Little 72 says, Big O got that Miami Dolphins sod in his backyard. You know it. You know it. Alexis Palenzuela. Josh is in. Ty Crook. Cash the Jeweler. Jamesville. Christian. Nico Jones. Game with such high ramifications in recent memory as this weekend's game versus... No, we haven't had one of those. You are correct, sir. Lisa Rose liked Hard Knocks. Steven Gonzalez. Brian Landis. Rosendo is in. Let the good vibes flow. Wednesday is not just halfway to the weekend. It's halfway to your goals. Take a deep breath. Relax. Let's enjoy the season. Let's see. Canes Dolphins, Mandarino, El Jibaro, Skylar Tipton is in Chicago. You were right. Perfect PR for the team. I told you. Because we got a great franchise. I keep trying to tell people, and I get it. We've been beaten up with bad franchises forever. We have no more dysfunction. We don't have a bad franchise. We have a great franchise. We have a great front office. We are loaded with character players, good people, top to bottom. You know, it allows them to even take some chances with a couple guys that may not be perfect, but they can't rock the boat like it used to. Those days are done. You know, Greer and McKenzie and Allen. Overall, just look at the character of those players. And that's why I knew that this was going to be awesome for us. Spooky Myers. What happened to all the people who were against Hard Knocks? Haven't heard from them in a while. Yeah. I've got a couple of friends of mine that admitted to me, like, wow, dude, this has been better than I expected. And all. Lisa, by the way, Lisa will tell you also. She told me the other night when we were talking that she was nervous about it. And now she's like, wow, this has been fantastic. Because it's typical. It's normal for a Dolphins fan to be nervous about it. Nothing goes well for us. That's how it's been for 25 years. It's like we can't do anything right, but we have to reprogram ourselves. Okay? The Dolphins do everything right nowadays. They're not perfect. They're not going to hit on everything, but their intentions, the way they go about things, it's now the right way. So the rest is just, you hope you make every decision that's pretty close to right. Impossible, but you try. Let's see. No doubt. Tone Toto. What a better investment, Bitcoin or the Dolphins? Bitcoin, bro. There's nothing better than Bitcoin. I love my Dolphins. Nothing better than Bitcoin. J-Town is in. P. Crown Vic. John Hoffer. Samuel Rosa. Ariel Saravia. There we go. Miami will not get blown out, he says. Okay. Dolphin. Finn's looking like the real deal. Christopher Henry, how do you figure that John, our offense and defense is better than the Ravens? Well, the offense is by miles. I mean, that's not even close. Superior passing game. Ricardo Cuchican, what do you think about Binance? Buy and get off of it. I'd rather buy at crypto.com, but it's some interesting shit happened. And when they push CZ out, right? Okay. This is my theory on because I follow a lot of this shit. I follow the politics of it also, which, I know I have a lot of fun with you guys. It doesn't bother me. I don't care about pissing any of you Democrats or Republicans or far left or far right MAGAs or whatever. I laugh at all of you. Okay? Most of you have zero clue what's going on. And I honestly say this. Most of you have zero freaking clue what's going on with our money. Okay? You're all tied up in your stupid little culture wars. And that's fine. You want to be mindless and go into that crap, you go ahead. Okay? I worry about money. Okay? The rest is all bullshit that none of you are ever going to make anybody else happy. So what happened was the big players in the government and the big financial players in the government, not the government, but kind of, because BlackRock is kind of the government in a way, you know, they manage so much money and control, and they have stocks in they have more stocks in all the major corporations in this country more than anybody else. Okay. They manage $9 trillion. Okay. Your government, my government, their FDIC, they only have 125 billion to insure money. Okay. There are trillions in the banking system. They just have a little bit. Okay. So I've tried to explain this to you all out there. And so finally, the people that are part of the banking and the money system in our world, they realized they could not put the toothpaste back into the tube anymore. They wanted to put crypto back into the toothpaste, into the tube. And it's just, once you squeeze it out, it's over, bro. You can't. It's worldwide. It's an open ledger. It's got miners all over the world. They all benefit from it. Everything, the validators, you name it, they cannot control it. They figured it out. They tried to manipulate. They tried to control. And FTX and CZ were part of all of this crap. And they were part of the dirtiness that was going on in crypto. Okay? Because there's nothing wrong with Bitcoin. I try to explain to people, Cardano did not get split. Okay? You know, Ethereum didn't crash. You didn't hack Polkadot. You didn't, whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with crypto. Just like in money, what's wrong is with the investment firms. What's wrong is with the people that, you know, the Enrons and all that. That's what was happening with crypto. The FTXs and the Binances of the world, and they were involved in all kinds of dirty shit. And they knew it. The government knew it. ARK Investments knew it. BlackRock knew it. Everybody knew it. And so CZ was part of the problem in a way. He was benefiting from it, but he was part of the problem. So the power players knew that FTX was dirty, feeding Democrats and Republicans politically, trying to bend rules and try to make crypto so he can control crypto in this country. He was trying to do. CZ was trying to control it worldwide. FTX was trying to control it from the United States out. And so there was all kinds of shady shit going on. And you notice that they ended up going after these guys, pushing them completely out. And now the institutional money came in. The institutional money was not willing to come in while the dirty players were still involved. Because in the end, one of the things I talked to you about this, there has to be regulation, some level of regulation. No matter how decentralized you may want to be, there has to be a level of regulation in order for you to make sure that people can invest their money, right? And because crypto is an open ledger, it's easier to actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but your bank is audited, like, I think every 6 months. Bitcoin's audited every 10 minutes. ARK Investments and BlackRock and you and everybody else can just look at the traffic, look at the ledger, and look exactly what's going on in the live traffic. You can't hide anything. It's a beautiful thing. It's actually a beautiful thing. And so what I think happened was the power players figured out, we got to get the dirty people out. We got to add regulations to this so then we can get the legal money involved in all of this. So we have investors all over the world but we don't have the institutional money yet. And so let's get the dirty players out. Let's get the institutional money in, and then let's move forward. And that's what's happening now. And that's why the SECs are going to prove now. That's why they don't say anything anymore about Bitcoin or Ethereum anymore, because they know they lost that battle already. So now they're still going up against the altcoins, but they'll lose that battle too, because XRP already won it for them. So eventually, they're all going to end up coming down. The SEC will stop their dirtiness. You've eliminated all the, the ugly players in the game. Now you're going to allow you're going to allow a certain level of regulation in, which one will give the consumer more confidence that they can invest their money in there. Okay? That's what happened here in the process. And that's what this battle has been for several years. They wanted to fight it, but they can't fight it. They can't fight freedom. They can't fight your ultimate freedom to your financial freedom, actually. Because that's what crypto, that's what Bitcoin does for you. It's what I've been trying to explain. They don't want that, but now they can't stop it anymore. So since they can't stop it, now they've got to get on board. And so that's basically what's been going on. It's a lot of dirty shit that's been going on from our government, from the Bidens and the Yellens and the Warrens and the Genslers of the world, right, to the CZs of the world, and Sam Bankman-Fried and all the other stuff that went on with Voyager and all the other stuff that went on with Three Arrows Capital and all kinds of stuff. They got the dirty players out. And that's kind of the idea. It's they had to clean it up first to then regulate it, and then comes mass adoption. And this is what's coming in 24 and 25. And this is why the stock market, any run that you've ever been a part of, for any of you out there, will be dwarfed by this. Why? Because the entire world has to get on board. That's never happened. With no assets ever. It's never happened because this is completely new. This is how you're going to have Web3. This is how you're going to have AI. This is how you're going to have the blockchain. This is how you're going to have all this stuff that is going to run our lives. That your business is going to be on it. You're going to pay your bills on it. You're going to make a living on it. You're going to go entertain yourself on it. It's all there. I keep telling you. I've been telling you this for 3 years. None of this has changed. We told you on the show 2-3 years ago, banks would be closing. What's been going on the last year? Prediction. Boom. And they're not done. We're only going to have 5 banks left. You'll see. All these small and mid-sized banks, they are gone. History. It's just a matter of time. So, do your homework. Figure it out. It's coming. And you can make especially those of you that have money. Like, I don't have big money. Some of us are just working stiffs. But those of you that have some big money, man, you can get rich. Holy shit, you can get rich. Anyway. So I hope I clarified a little bit for you on that. Let's see. Chairman's Arcade, win out and get that first week off. Amen to that. Freddy 44, Finn's 126. Don't know you golfed big. What I do is not called golfing, sir. Okay, Finn's up. What I look like Lamar Jackson throwing the football. I'm spraying it like all over the place. I have no accuracy whatsoever. Just the Taos. Just watching the Dolphins could quite literally kill you. Are you serious, bro? Are you serious? Are you Cuban or something? Do you remember the John Beck years? Do you remember Cleo Lemon? Just wondering, do you remember what we used to have here? This is heaven, dude. What? So you had a tight game? You played against a good team. They're a very desperate team. Nothing wrong with that, dude. You know what's nice? How many times do you win 11 games in a season? Think about this. You got a franchise quarterback. You got a front office. You got a head coach. You got an offense that's one of the best in passing, one of the best in running, and you also have one of the best defenses. Chew on that for a while. Chew on that. Because I just want you to know, okay? Listen to me. The Dolphin fan that has a quarterback, the Dolphin fan that has a front office, the Dolphin fan that has a coach, coaching staff, defensive coordinator, the Dolphin fan that has an offense that's one of the top running offenses, the Dolphin fan that has one of the top passing offenses, the Dolphin fan that has one of the best defenses in the league. I just want you to know that in the 60-year history of the team, it's only happened like 3 or 4 times. And the other times were probably in the 70s when they were going to the Super Bowls and winning. That was only the other time probably when they had a top-notch defense. They can run the ball and pass the ball at will. And they didn't really like pass the ball, you know, but if you wanted to pass the ball, you weren't stopping Paul Warfield. Just want you to know that. Okay? But I just want you to all know out there, please don't act spoiled. Please don't act like there's anything here to act like there's some kind of, oh my God, they're torturing me. They're taking me to the end. You are so spoiled right now. It is ridiculous how spoiled you are. You know how you were giving nothing for 25 years? You know how you went to the tree every year and there was like no presents? Because that's what it felt like to be a Dolphin fan the last 25 years. What did you have? Bullshit moments like the Miami Miracle? Shit that meant nothing whatsoever? That you avoided 0-16 by winning the Ravens game and a receiver getting free? That's the bullshit moments we used to, you know, like celebrate. Moments that meant nothing. Moments that kept us from further embarrassment. That's all they were. Nothing really to celebrate. But because our loser mentality the last 25 years, we celebrated bullshit like the Miami Miracle. So I just want you to know right now, what you're going through right now is a blessing, is a gift. And I told you guys, I'm enjoying every damn moment of this. I've watched all of this for the 60 years that the team's been around. So I know what I'm experiencing now, I have not experienced in decades. That's the real truth. All right, let's do it. Time to unleash the wolf pack. Cameron Wolf and our KSDT CPA, Miami Dolphins report.
We unleash the wolf pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right. How you feeling, man? You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. How are you?
Good. Did you come through yesterday?
In regards to, oh yeah, of course. We were on the boat. I had my wife out on the boat with the family. Luckily, we live in South Florida where it's 78 degrees and Christmas, right around Christmas season.
Yeah, decent weather.
Yeah, so we did that. We went to a restaurant called Taquito in Fort Lauderdale, Japanese Korean restaurant for dinner. And so yeah, we had a really good birthday. She's had a whole week of festivities, actually. Now that I think about it, and so I think I've done it right for 30.
Good for you. There you go. There you go, my man. That's what it's all about. All right. Let's get into it. How bad is the Waddle thing? Are we talking playoffs if he comes back? You're hoping that he might be ready for, because I don't think he's high ankle.
Yeah, high ankle sprain, you're typically going to miss multiple weeks. That's typically the parameter for high ankle sprain. If it's a serious high ankle sprain, it could be as many as 6 weeks, which would probably take him out for much of the rest of the season. If it's a milder high ankle sprain, maybe you're looking at 2 to 3 weeks, which would probably keep him out for the rest of the regular season, and make him kind of on the borderline for that first playoff game. Ideally, you win this week and you win next week, you get a bye, and maybe he's back for that first playoff game if you get a bye. But I think right now you got to prepare as if you're going to be without Waddle for some of these next couple of games.
So, what do you think the mad scientist does to counter that?
It's going to be interesting. I think that obviously you're going to have Cedric Wilson play a little bit more. I think you're going to see, they play a lot of they already play a lot of Braxton in the slot. I'm curious if somebody assumes Jalen's role or if they just switch their personnel a little bit. Do they play more two running back or even two tight end to offset instead of doing three receivers? Obviously, somebody's going to have to be that second receiver more. Do they prefer to go three wide with Tyreek, Cedric, and Braxton? Or would they rather just say, hey, let's put one of those two guys, a Cedric or a Braxton, on the other side, and we just have Achane and Raheem and play a lot of two backs? I could certainly see that being more of a personnel shift that they go to this week. But the reality is guys are going to have to step up. The benefit of having Waddle, and I know some fans have been on the borderline with Waddle this year because he's had a couple drops. He hasn't had the same consistent production as you'd want, but he's still over 1,000 yards. He's still been a top receiver and a threat. And so because of Waddle, teams can't go over the top crazy on Tyreek. They're still going to send him double shaded coverage. But now without Waddle, if they don't trust that anybody else can beat you, you're going to see double coverage on every play and maybe triple coverage on some plays. So it's going to make Tyreek's job even harder. And it's going to force somebody, whether it's the running backs or one of the other receivers or Smythe, to step up and be a consistent weapon, because none of those guys have been a consistent weapon in the passing game. Smythe had his best game of his career this past week, or at least the season. Cedric hasn't been consistent. Braxton hasn't been consistent. Raheem has been really good and consistent as a rusher, but he hasn't been necessarily the pass catching weapon. Achane, we've seen a lot of burst early in the season, but if you notice the last couple of weeks as he's been dealing with the toe injury, he hasn't been as involved in the passing game either. So somebody's going to have to step up because it can't just be all Tyreek.
I can tell you this. This is what's going to end this freaking season. I can tell you, I can guarantee you, they tried to get Waller, and then last year they were hoping Laporta would drop to them, and it didn't happen. So they targeted Waller 2 years ago. They couldn't get him. They targeted Laporta. They couldn't get him. I guarantee you this offseason, with their allotted picks and everything, they will land the dynamic tight end this year, because I'm sure Mike McDaniel is frustrated that element is not in the offense right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
God bless Smythe. He had a serviceable game last week, and that's unfortunately that's his peak. That's what he is, serviceable at his best, which is not bad. Smythe is probably your ideal number 2 tight end in an offense. You know what I'm saying? But I am convinced, after watching what's happened the last 2 years, they will fill that void this offseason. Guaranteed.
So so I would say the issue that you find is that tight ends as rookies are very rarely. This tight end class was really good this year. Sam Laporta was really good. Dalton Kincaid had a little burst where he was really good. Who else was pretty good this year? The kid, what was the kid that went second round? I'm brain farting right now.
Yeah, me too.
Well, anyway, the tight ends were really good this year, but typically rookie tight ends don't have a huge impact. And
No.
so you ask yourself, are we going to commit a high pick on a guy who may or may not be a impact in 2024 when we're going to need to win? Or do we need to go and spend that resource on more offensive line help? Spend that resource to replace a player who we may have to lose because they're costing too much? Are you bringing back an Xavier Howard? If you're not, then who's going to replace him? Because Cam Smith would be the replacement, but I can't tell you for certainty if Cam Smith can play in this league because we hadn't seen it. And so that's a big, bold risk if the Dolphins are saying, hey, we're going to get rid of X and just slide in Cam Smith as your starting corner and just let's rip and roll. So they got questions at that department. You got to figure out exactly what you're going to do with Christian Wilkins. Are you going to pay him? If not, then you're going to have to replace him at defensive tackle too. And so that there's a lot of, and then you got an offensive line that the reality is they're banged up. Teron Armstead is going to be a year older. Connor Williams is going to be a free agent and coming off a torn ACL. You got guard positions that have been a turnstile kind of due to injuries all off season. And so there's a lot of needs. I think it's still way too early for us to talk off season, but since you brought it up, there's a lot of needs. And so to pencil and say they're going to have to get a tight end, it'd be nice, but is that going to be their biggest high value need when we come around that time? I'm not sure.
See, here's where you and I go in different directions in the fork in the road. I don't worry about any of that shit. They wanted Waller and they wanted Laporta. They know they're tight ends. So if they want to draft one, I'm pretty. I feel good that they're going to find. I don't know if he's going to hear me now because we dropped him. Let's see if we get him back here. Because okay, there we go.
I sent you the tight ends. I think he was thinking of Dalton Kincaid, possibly.
He mentioned Dalton Kincaid. All right, so here's where you and I go in a fork in the road.
Okay,
I have complete faith in these guys.
Okay,
I think Greer, McKenzie, and Allen are the best front office in the NFL. So if I
believe in them too. I'm just saying their task is going to be difficult.
But listen. But it used to be difficult when you didn't have a front office. Mm-hmm. But if they wanted Waller and Laporta, they got good eyes. They got good eyes on the offensive line. They find guys off the street. You want a defensive tackle? Well, they found Sealer. So they found, Wilkins. So if you don't pay Wilkins, you'll draft another guy. I have faith. And in corner, you're so tortured about Noah. But if you look at all the other corners and safeties on the team, they've done a marvelous job of drafting and finding undrafted players. So to me, that's what I love about this front office, actually. They're going to be able to overcome shit that normal front offices can't do because they end up finding Sealer. They get an AVG in the 5th round. They'll find, a Kohu off the street. That's what they'll get Kendall Lamb. And the guy's been marvelous as a left tackle and actually pretty serviceable at right tackle. They'll find an Isaiah Wynn. That's what I love about this front office. I don't nearly worry so much like some of our colleagues have been making this big shit. Oh my God, Cap Hell is coming and all that. Brother, cap hell creates when you don't know how to draft and you don't know how to trade and you don't know how to find street free agents. That's not the case here with these dudes, bro. They find a Chris Brooks. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I really like that. Mostert came off the street and it's 21 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about.
What I'm saying? That's where I don't have those concerns that much anymore.
So I do think they have a good front office. I would just say that as you become a contender and you start having to pay folks, the job becomes more difficult regardless of who you are in the front office, because you're having to fill 6 or 7 holes because of just your own success. It's hard to hit 100%. Like no team's hitting 100%. No. In fact, most teams will tell you if I hit 50%, I consider that a win in the draft, right? Problem is if you come in and I tell you you got 5 or 6 spots key spots you got to fill, and you got 3 or 4, probably 4 premium picks, right? If you're hitting half, that's 2. So the draft can fill 2 of those spots most likely. You're still going to have 3 or 4, and you're hoping that free agency may hit a couple more, but you're not going to be able to fill all the holes. And so it's my question is, eventually you're going to have to make a decision of which one do we leave out. And this offseason, they chose to leave tight end out. They were like, we're going to upgrade other spots. We're going to put priorities in other positions, and we're going to leave out tight end. Maybe they change next season and shift, but they still are going to have that choice again because there's going to be more spots at quote-unquote more important positions, cornerback, defensive tackle, offensive line, that they're going to have to make key calls on.
And by the way, something that's coming that also we never enjoyed, compensatory picks are going to start coming over the next few years because you're not going to be able to re-sign people, and they're going to go other places, and at least you'll have that other wave too on top of all of that. So you know how to find street free agents and undrafted free agents. Now you'll be able to have maybe an extra compensatory pick or 2 for the next, several years moving forward because you actually can draft now. You know what I mean? Something that they really rarely did well on top. And then when they did well, the few that they would hit on, they couldn't keep because they wanted to leave.
Right.
Which I didn't blame them in those days. Whereas, last night, did you watch it last night?
I have not yet. No, I was with the wifey, so
it was
we were out.
It wasn't a drama-filled one or anything like that. But what it was another great vibe-filled episode. Okay. Quarterbacks exchanging presents, Marino giving isotoner gloves.
I saw a couple of the clips for sure. Yeah, I saw the gift clips. Yeah,
the Koku family, which must be a phenomenal family because you look at Cater and you could tell good upbringing came from that young man. All that.
Yeah, absolutely, from the Ivory Coast.
Then you have Raheem. Going back to New Smyrna Beach and all that stuff. And Raheem's a surfer, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this last night. Surfers have to have that perfect timing on the break, on the wave. They gotta have the right sense, paddle right and get on that wave and ride it. Kind of like a running back. You got that wave, then you got to make that cut and you got to ride that wave. You know what I'm saying? So, he's kind of like the Silver Surfer of running backs here. Silver Surfer, by the way, is a famous comic book hero. Just in case.
I'm aware.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how aware you are in the superhero world. And so I was thinking about that when I was watching that piece yesterday, and he's talking about surfing. I'm going, running backs kind of have to have that same kind of feel to know when the break coming on that line. You know what I'm saying? But it was another one of those episodes that I think just showcases the character of the team. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty cool.
Cool. I got to check it out, man. I haven't had a chance. Like I said, yesterday was all about wifey's birthday, so we were out and about, but I'll check it out at some point, probably later on tonight.
Yeah. Obviously the game of the year, every week now, it becomes bigger and bigger here. When you look at this game, after watching San Francisco, what would you say is the key for Miami first and foremost against the Ravens?
Man, I think that the Ravens were the most physical team that I've seen, and I thought San Fran was that team before. And so the issue, I think that's going to be a fun battle, but also could be an issue for the Dolphins. I'm going to talk about this on Network. It seems to be a contrast of styles. You got the Dolphins who are very much speed-based. You got the Ravens who are physical-based. And so you got your physical team versus your speed team. And in my experience, your physical team typically wins against the speed team unless the speed team shows they can handle the physicality. And what I saw with the Dolphins in that last 4-minute drive, especially on offense, they're running the ball with Jeff Wilson on short yardage. They're getting the key catches to Tyreek. And it's not the big 50-yard throws down the field that everybody thinks of when they think about the Dolphins offense. It was the grinded out plays, That to me, the offensive line, who's down 4 starters from week 1, is over here, leaning on the Dallas D line. That showed me the physicality that I haven't seen consistently for the Dolphins. And so that's the element I want to see. How do you handle when somebody's going to smack you in the mouth like Baltimore's going to do? Do you wilt or do you punch back? And so to me, I think that's going to be more important than whether or not Tyreek wins his matchup with Mark.
Let's see. You there? No. Don't you love live? Live is a beautiful thing. Get the rawness of it, the bad internet connections. You get it all here, man. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see. By the way, you can follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. There he is. He's popping back.
Yeah, sorry, I got a call on my phone and it messed up the whole thing.
I'll bear that.
I'm on Do Not Disturb now, so I'm good. Essentially, I think it's going to be how does Miami handle Baltimore's physicality? Because I remember I was at the game last year when Miami went up to Baltimore and beat the Ravens. And the story of that game was the comeback. They were down. They came back. Tua went crazy. I think he threw for 5 or 6 touchdowns that game. It was really Tua's coming out party of like when people were like, okay, this dude is different than what people say he is. But that game came off of the big plays in Tyreek and Waddle. I think the Ravens have redefined themselves as a defense, and they're not that team anymore that's going to give up all the big plays down the field, the fourth quarter collapses. When you beat them, you're going to have to consistently get the ball and just kind of control your will. And so I'm eager to see the run game is going to be a big factor. Can they keep Raheem going? Can they get Achane going a little bit more? Jeff Wilson on the short yardage. Can they get a type of win, sort of like they did against Dallas? I think it's going to take that style of win. I don't think they're going to score 40 points on Baltimore, maybe not even 30. I think they're going to have to win a game kind of like they just did, where it's in the 20s, the mid to low 20s, and their defense is going to have to stop Lamar. Jalen Ramsey and them boys on our side of the ball are going to have to hold their own and essentially show that they're not punks. You guys may be, some big tough bullies, but we can handle our own.
I'm with you there. All right. Now we look at the last 2 years. Tua's 2-0 against them the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at, they even beat them in a week where Tua didn't practice that week. It was Jacoby Brissett practicing, and Flo was like, "Yeah, we don't need you this week. Go golfing, kid."
Yep.
Yeah, go. And then in the middle of the game, Brissett got injured. They bring in Tua, and then he says to Brissett, "Nah, yeah, you don't need to come back. We're gonna stick here with this kid," and he wins. And then last year they come back from 21. So, and they don't have Mark Andrews, which is an enormous weapon, but they do have OBJ and they have Zay Flowers, which is something.
And Isaiah Likely, their young rookie tight end, who's actually been playing pretty well.
Yeah, but he's not Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews.
He's not. No, he's not. But I'm saying he's a weapon that you have to keep an eye on. He's had some nice 70, 80, 90-yard games. And so that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. So who's better right now at this point? Is Miami a better team? Is the Ravens a better team?
I would say, one, that's what the game's going to decide. But I do think that Baltimore's been a more consistent team this year. I think that Miami has gone through ebbs and flows of when we feel like we can trust them. And they're coming off their biggest game their biggest win of the season against Dallas. They erased that narrative that we can't beat winning teams. But even though they have erased that narrative, that is the only one so far. And so Baltimore has consistently, I think they have probably at least 4. Huh?
3 losses.
3 losses. But I think they've had 4 or 5 wins against playoff teams that are in the playoffs. The season ended today. And so there's just a little bit more of a consistent track record against those top teams.
But you lose to Indy, Pitt, and then Cleveland's all right. Okay, Cleveland's not a terrible team. obviously, but you lost to Indy and Pitt.
They have some bad losses. They certainly have some bad losses. The Dolphins just have to admit, my category of bad loss, a game that you no business losing. The Titans game is the only one for the Dolphins to me. The Bills game was an ugly loss, yes. The Chiefs was, you want to win that game. Who else did they lose to?
Bro, the Chiefs, Tyreek lost that game.
Right. And so to me, I don't consider the Bills or the Chiefs bad losses because at the time, the Bills were considered really good and it was on the road. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. And the Titans were a bad loss. What's the other loss? What's the other loss? Oh, the Eagles. Right. And the Eagles are a top contender. And so to me, right. And so I just think that right now, if you come into it, and I think the odds will reflect this, the Ravens will probably be slight favorites. One, they're at home. Two, they're coming off the best win of any team all season, beating San Fran on the road. That's impressive. There's no way to sugarcoat that. Everybody thought San Fran was the best team in football until the Ravens beat the side of them. And so they're going to come in as favorites, but I don't think Miami should be scared. They just beat this Baltimore team last year in Baltimore. And I think people have a different, not you guys, because Dolphins fans and you know about this team, but I think there's a misconception about this team that it's literally only Tyreek. And I think that's what Tua was getting frustrated with last year. This team has a lot more than just Tyreek. Tua's playing at a top 3, top 5, if you want to stretch it out, level at quarterback. You got Raheem Mostert, who's neck and neck with Christian McCaffrey. That's probably the best running back as far as stats this season. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they've been a top 3 defense in pretty much every major category since Jalen Ramsey came back in week 9. And the defensive front's playing strong. Ramsey's playing strong. And they're not even fully healthy yet. They're still waiting for Javon Holland to come back. And so I think this team, talent-wise, play-wise, deserves to be considered with the top, maybe 3 or 4 teams as far as Super Bowl contenders. To me, it's the Ravens, you got the 49ers, and the Dolphins probably are right there. I mean, you probably throw, I'm guessing, Philly in that conversation too. And to me, those are and then Kansas City, because they're the Chiefs, even though they've struggled immensely, they still have Mahomes. That, to me, is probably your top 5 Super Bowl contenders. If you're asking me who are the 5 most likely teams to win a Super Bowl, it would be the 5 that I just mentioned. And so I don't know if the Dolphins get mentioned enough in that conversation, and they should.
Well, this week we'll get you into that conversation if you end up taking care of business. That's for damn sure.
Absolutely.
All right, what are you doing on the NFL Network so folks can check you out?
Yeah, I'm going to be on today. We got the Insiders coming up, and I've got the big matchup. I'll be in Baltimore this weekend, and so I'm talking some Dolphins Ravens, and so we'll do that. We're going to be live on NFL Plus from 12 to 1. It runs on NFL Network from 1 to 2. And then tonight I will be on Total Access a little after 7 p.m. Eastern talking some Dolphins Ravens. So big week. We're getting a lot of TV action and talking a big game. So hopefully
I'm jealous, you bastard. You're going to get some crab cakes. Damn it.
I love them. I'm gonna have multiple crab cakes.
I hate you. I hate you.
One of my favorite foods.
Damn. And I heard, by the way, the Ravens actually do a good job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know what they do. I remember being there last year, and I think they had some really good crab cakes. And I think they do lobster bisques too.
Yes, somebody told me that the Ravens actually do it right with some crab cakes and lobster bisques. That's right. So
I love it. I'm looking forward to it.
Damn it, you win. All right, appreciate you, my brother. We will catch up.
You, man. Yep,
you got it. All right, KSDT CPAs, baby. Make sure you call them for your business, for your personal taxes. Look, we're wrapping up the year. You know how it is with business. You need kind of guidance. And that's what KSDT is there to help you, from payroll, from planning. Doesn't matter what it is. You want to find out what's going on in the market, how it's going to affect you, how it's going to affect, sometimes it has to do with your inventory and what kind of inventory you got and how much should you have and how's the market going to respond. KSDT can help you there. Are you looking to sell your business? Or maybe you just want to know how much it's valued. KSDT can help you figure that out also. So make sure you reach out to them. Use that QR code 305
670-3370. And they are hiring Dade offices, Broward offices, Palm Beach offices, and they just opened a new office in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you're looking also for work, or if you're looking for some guidance for your personal taxes or your business taxes, please reach out to the great people at KSDT CPAs and tell them that Big O sent you. 305-670-3370. 1 hour down. Hour number 2 is next. Matt Verderam gets it going.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We promised you hour number 2, and there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Sports Illustrated's own Matt Verderam. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Feeling good. How are you?
Good. Dolphins passed the first test this past week. They outlasted the Cowboys. It was actually cool because they kind of controlled the game for a while, and then Dallas stormed back to take the lead. And I kind of like that because then they had to kind of show, okay, well, you had the lead most of the time. Now you gave it up. What do you got to do? And then they ran the clock out. And, you know, I had a guy a little while ago stay on the chat board. Oh, you know, the Dolphins have got me on the edge of my seat. And I'm like, yo, dude, you have a Dolphins team that has one of the top running offenses, one of the top passing offenses, and it has one of the top defenses. I haven't said that since I was a child, and I was 7 and 8 years old watching Greasy and Zonka and Warfield and the defense and, you know, Jake Scott and the boys, you know, like it was a freaking hell of a team in those days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, yo, dude, relax. You're in heaven right now for Dolphin fans. Chill out. You know what I mean? And to be 11-5 right now, after everything, and then to pass that first test, your thoughts on that so far?
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought it was a game where, you know, Miami had felt like a pretty good stretch of the game, maybe the middle portion of the game. I thought might have really pulled away and kind of blown them out, and they didn't. And it stayed close. And then, you know, look, the Cowboys really, I mean, didn't do a whole hell of a lot offensively. They put together one drive as the game went on. They got in the end zone. It was a great throw and catch with Prescott and Cooks. But I thought in the end, I mean, Dallas backed up, which is death against any good defense. And Miami was able to do what it had to do. It executed, got down the field. I thought the MVP of the game for Miami was Jason Sanders, who was
God,
lights out from downtown. But listen, that's the kind of a game you're going to have to play in the playoffs. I mean,
by the way, he was like 1 of 7 from 50 yards the last 8 times.
Yes.
It
was incredible.
He had lost all our confidence because he was an ass kicker when he first, his first year, year and a half or whatever. But like the last year and a half or two, it's kind of been a real problem for him, especially from 50 yards on. So that performance, I don't know if it's, how it is with kickers. They find their groove or then they get off of it and you just have no idea sometimes.
Yeah, no, I thought he was MVP of the game for him. I mean, like Tua was fine. I thought he played okay. He played fine. I thought, Tyreek is Tyreek. I mean, he had 100 yards and it felt like he was like not even in the game half the time because he was coming off that ankle. But he
dropped the first play of the game, dude, right out of your end zone.
That was weird. That was like he did drop it, but it was almost like it handcuffed him. Like it was like it wasn't a bad throw. It was just I think it was just where the ball was. It kind of like it like went over his shoulder and it was weird. I don't know. I was shocked he dropped the ball.
It was KC all over again. He did that against your team.
Yeah, well, the difference on that play is
a couple of passes in that game, and Tua threw a beautiful bomb to Tyreek that he dropped in that. Tyreek lost that game. He dropped that ball, which was points. And then he had the fumble for the touchdown against KC. He single-handedly lost the game against KC. And in that game, he had the 99 yards, but to open up the game, McDaniel calls 2 bombs, dude. And he hits Tyreek on the first one, he drops it, and then he hits Waddle on the 50-yarder, and he catches it. I mean, that is ballsy to open up the game. Remember, Tua only throws for 2 yards at a time. That's what everybody says. And he opens up the game with 2 beautiful bombs right on the money, dude. That's pretty good.
I thought overall, and they were both the Hill and the Waddle. They were great throws. If you're the Dolphins, it's the kind of performance you've wanted to see all year against a good team. They found a way to win a game in which, look, I mean, first of all, I thought the first drive of the game ended up being the most important drive of the game. Dallas gets to the 1-yard line, and I think 2 things can be true at once. Elliott makes a great play. On the other hand, I don't know why Tony Pollard didn't just run to the corner. I don't know why. He cut back inside, and it allowed Elliott to make what was a phenomenal tackle. And then the Cowboys are the Cowboys. And you have this big quarterback, and you're like, just fall forward, man. Just fall into the end zone. And they hand off to their up back. It fumbles. And you know what I thought was interesting on that play? I thought the reason that play was so mangled, Dallas got out of the huddle with like 5 seconds left on the play clock, and they were scrambling to get to the line. They weren't ready. And to me, that's the difference between a team that's well coached and not a lot of the times. Miami didn't make some of the mistakes in that game that Dallas made. And that sounds like, oh, well, it's not giving credit. No, I think that is credit. Like, you're the team that didn't make the big mistake in the game. Dallas made a huge mistake early. Now, Miami got down to the goal line, what was it, second quarter? And I don't know, they just kick a field goal, man. They just kick it. But they got away with it. They overcame it. And in the end, it's a nice win.
And that's our coach, bro. He'll do that shit again.
He will, and he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
And he will. I know. He's going to pay the price for that because it's just – I was just –
in the playoff
you had back-to-back injuries. And it's like there's a sign, like everything's going wrong. Bro, just take the points, dude. Yeah. Just take the damn points. And
I know. I couldn't. I was like, I knew he wasn't. There was a part of me that was like, I'm not surprised, but I also was like, what is he doing? And luckily it didn't hurt him, right? I mean, in the end, they ended up being able to overcome it. But look, I mean, the bottom line is they win. Now they got to go to Baltimore and play a game that's essentially for the one, or well, possibly for the 1 seed. Obviously, there's still a tough game. Look, if you're Miami, you win that game, you win the division, and then Week 18 becomes. Again, truthfully, if you really play it out, what probably would happen is if Miami wins that game, Buffalo, you would think is going to win this week against New England. Although they almost lost to Easton Stick, so let's not rule anything out. But I would think
the Ravens winning this week forces Miami to have to play to win because if they lose, then it'll be the Ravens' 13th win, and Miami will stay 12. So the way it rolls.
You're right, but you're right. But what would happen though is let's say Miami wins and Buffalo beats New England. Okay, so Buffalo then clinches a playoff spot. They're in the playoffs. If they need a little bit of help, but like there's like 800 scenarios if they win, they're in the playoffs. So if they clinch a playoff spot next week and Miami wins and clinches a division, Buffalo's not going to play hard. They're going to rest everybody.
Yes.
There's no reason for them to play. So, and in that scenario, assuming Kansas City doesn't lose out because they can't win a game, they would then host the Bills in the wild card round, which would be just one hell of a wild card game. But Miami's got a real big shot here. If they can beat Baltimore, they're probably going to be the one. I mean, Buffalo's not going to have to play in all likelihood. So it's very interesting to see how Miami does going to Baltimore, playing a Ravens team that, I got to be fair, they beat the crap out of San Francisco. I really thought, like, okay, it'll be a good game. I thought the Niners would win.
San Fran could not have played a more dumber game. I mean, they did everything possible to lose that game, dude.
They did. I agree.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. That was like.
It's a year where, I was just saying to somebody else, like, it's a year where you look at the NFL and go, okay, San Francisco's the odds-on favorite, right? Everybody's on board. Then Christmas happens. They get killed. So everybody's like, oh, it's Baltimore. And then, like, Miami, would you be surprised? No, they could beat them. So then if Miami wins, it's like, well, is Miami the team? And then if Miami lost to Buffalo, it's like, well, then Buffalo's. It's just one of those years where you got about 8 or 5 teams. Yeah, right. 6 to 18. You just they could win it. Like, it's just who's going to get hot in the playoffs, who's going to get the right break. I mean, I think in the AFC, it's probably Baltimore, Miami, Buffalo. I don't even know you put Kansas City in there, but I guess you kind of have to because they're Kansas City. But I don't know, man. They can't score.
I got to tell you, I'm not putting your team anymore in it.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's
the incompetence around Mahomes.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
That's why I tweeted out, so you morons that were killing Tua for 2 years. And I kept, for 2 years, I was the only idiot in town going, yo, it's not Tua. It's all the idiots around him. He has no coach. He has no offensive coordinator. He has no game planning. There is no play design, nothing. Now you have McDaniel, and it's a completely different ballgame. I saw Mahomes get to the Super Bowl and get his ass handed to him because he didn't have a goddamn line. And now I'm watching, and this fucking team is a disaster, dude.
They're not good.
Disaster. They're not good. And the same shit they did a couple of years ago when they go, we got to fix this line. I guarantee you they are going to put a bomb into that offense, and they're going to blow that shit up.
Yep.
And they're going to have Kelsey and Rice come back, and they're going to fix the rest of that shit. I guarantee you that. They can't keep doing this, dude. The guy's going to get killed.
They're not. What they're going to do is they're going to go out and probably sign one of like T. Higgins or Mike Evans, and then they'll draft a receiver in the first round because this has gotten to a point where they can't function. I mean, watching that game on Christmas, they can't function. They can't even line up. It is embarrassing. They cannot line. They've gotten worse as the year's gone on. I mean, they don't know where to line up.
You brought out the hope only because the fucking defense is awesome.
Well, the reason I say it is because it's a conference where there's nobody you look at and go, that team's just infallible. And it's a team where you go, the defense might hold anybody they play to 14 points because they're that good. And then offensively, you have Mahomes, and can Mahomes just drag their carcass for 17 points? I mean, that's basically what you're looking at. But the problem is
they have figured out the offense. They know how to take Kelsey out now, and not a lot. And then while Rice is good, he's not that good, and that's why you mentioned T. Higgins because Rice is probably a 2 or a 3 right now. They need to go get a 1 because obviously they have figured out this offense. And then, Jesus Christ, the poor kid, he gets his ass handed to him on a hit with the helmet. And then he goes to the damn table, and the table folds on the poor kid. That's the other thing. The other weapon that you have that you got to take care of is Pacheco. And, and by the way, it's not a good thing that Mahomes now has to carry the ball a lot more now because now you're opening him up to take hits. And that's the only reason why I know we all look at Mahomes as Superman because he is Superman. But now we get a little crazy, and you might be getting a little crazy because now we start putting too much expectations on Mahomes. And now we literally want him to put on 2 fucking capes. And really what's going on, really, there's nobody good enough to, unless you can get like Cam Newton with Mahomes accuracy.
Right.
Then, okay, maybe you might be able to save the day.
I think you're right. I mean, I think what it's going to take for them, I think they can win a playoff game. I think they win one game. They just play well and they execute. But I was saying to somebody actually yesterday, I actually think the best thing for them in an odd way is if they play Buffalo in the wild card round, because they will actually focus for that football game. Their problem is they can't focus. They're out to lunch. Now, they could lose to Buffalo. Don't get me wrong. I'd probably pick Buffalo, but I think that would be the best thing. Like if they play the Browns, they won't respect them. They just won't. They won't prepare. They'll be out to lunch and they'll lose to them. Like I think you to a point with the Chiefs, Mahomes will prepare. The rest of that offense, including Travis Kelce this year, has been a persona non grata situation. I mean, it's been Kelce was always accountable. Kelce doesn't even speak to the media anymore. It doesn't show up after games. I mean, he is complete. The only time you ever hear from Kelce is on his podcast. That's it.
He's becoming more of a human, not a
football.
What's
funny? I was talking to my dad last night.
Life, he's doing something he's never had before. He's actually getting like a real life off the field, and there might be. He's accomplished so much on the field.
Yep.
This part of his world might be motivating him more to, this is maybe, I can be an analyst, I can do commercials, I can travel with Taylor, and I don't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. So you almost feel like he's getting human,
Yeah, I think it's a great way of putting it. I said to my dad the other day, I said, you know what? I said, I think, he's 34 and he hurts all the time. Like, I think he looks at it, and I'm guessing, but I mean, hey,
zero to prove.
Right. You've won 2 Super Bowls. You've gone to 3. I mean, if you're not the greatest tight end of all time, you're in that pantheon. I mean, you're right there. Like look, I mean, maybe he's in a relationship that is something that he's really excited about. And it's funny, like the Chiefs, you get these fans.
It seems like it, dude.
And you get these Chiefs fans who are like, well, it's on Taylor Swift. I'm like, does she drop the ball? Because I got to tell you, like, maybe you should make her a receiver because maybe she could catch the football. I mean, if nothing else, you run a route better than some of these guys. I just think you're right. I think in a lot of ways, like maybe he's looking at the sun setting a little bit now.
Yeah,
I mean, that's reality. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's reality.
He's a human being. He knows he's a Hall of Famer. Now he's enjoying life, and he's like, oh, maybe I should. You know what? I've accomplished everything. What am I going to beat up my body more and more? No, dude. I want to have a normal life when I'm done with this. I just think, the dude fell in love, bro. That's it. I think that happens.
I also think, and I can't prove this, I think he's been hurt all year long. I know when he got hurt before week 1, they thought he might have been out for the year. And then he played, and like the early part of the year, he really couldn't run, but he played anyway. And then he got hurt again in Minnesota, and he played through it. And there are times when he'll have that burst, but then there are other times he doesn't. Which is why Rashee Rice now has come to the forefront, because whenever they need any kind of explosion, they use that kid because he's like a rocket booster strapped to his rear end, so he can get up the field. Mm-hmm. The problem is if you're a defense that can take anything away from those 2 guys, there's just nothing else. I mean, they just can't function. They can't throw the ball. There was a play on Christmas where Mahomes got pick sixed, and it was a horrible throw. It was completely on Mahomes. But if you watch that play, Justin Watson's supposed to run a comeback route. And he turns at the top of the route. And instead of coming back to the ball as you're taught when you're in JV football, he just stands there. Like he literally doesn't even take he just stands there. And then Jack Jones jumps the route. And if you watch Watson, he jumps backwards to get out of the guy's way. I mean, it's just that encapsulates everything it's been. It's Mahomes forcing the ball because he's fed up. It's the receivers can't play outside of Rice and Kelce. It is a tackle in Jawan Taylor, who earlier in the year was a penalty machine but was blocking. Now is a penalty machine and can't block anybody. I mean, there's a real chance they cut him and eat $24 million next year. Like they are to a point. I really think they might. Like they're really to a point. Yes, it's going to be like when they lost that Super Bowl and they they took that entire offensive line, threw it in the garbage, and they brought in 5 new linemen.
This is worse than that year. This is worse, and that's why I'm saying that we're at a point now where we're in danger territory because because Mahomes has been Superman. Now you're going to ask him for the impossible, and when he doesn't do it, you're going to blame him. And if you really look at the big picture, I'm going to be consistent, bro. It just ain't. It ain't there. By the way, let me ask you something. Are they missing the guy that, maybe was enough of a dick to get him in line, and Eric Bieniemy?
Immensely.
Okay.
Immensely.
It's funny that the guy couldn't get a job, now gets a job, and then they miss him in his old job, actually. I was wondering, because from what I'm told, he's the guy that cracks the whip. So is there nobody cracking the whip now? Is that kind of what it is?
Mahomes is the one left to do it. Because when you watch them, nobody has any emotion. Nobody seems to really care outside of Mahomes. I mean, Kelsey gets mad and he'll throw his helmet, but like Kelsey doesn't exhort his teammates like he did years ago. He just doesn't. He stands there. I think deep down with Travis Kelce, I also think part of it, to be fair, I just think he knows like we're just not good enough. Like he's just frustrated because he just knows like no matter what I do, we can't run a route, we can't catch a pass. But Matt Nagy just stands there and has no expression whatsoever. There's no anger. There's no fire. It's just a whole lot of like, we dropped another pass today. That makes 9. Okay, great. And then they move on. And Andy sits there and looks at his big menu of a play sheet and doesn't get mad. And just after the games, it's the same thing every week. Well, we'll fix it. We'll be fine. We're not going to fix it. You're 16 weeks into the year. I think, there's a real world here with the enemy. Look, they're all getting fired in Washington at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Remember,
this is why I mentioned it to you, because 2 months back, when there were like rumblings in Washington, like, oh, this guy's such a hard ass, Tyreek came out and said, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's a hard ass. He's going to challenge you. That's what I love about Coach B. He'll get after you, he'll get in your face. Yep. And Tyreek doesn't mind that shit. But obviously there were, when you haven't accomplished anything,
yes,
easy to rattle your cage, and that was going on in Washington. Then things settled down and got better there with him. So that's why I ask you, is he missed?
I wonder if they fire him after week 18, if you all expect them to do, if the Chiefs hire him as a consultant for the playoffs. I really wonder at this point if the Chiefs would be like, you know what, Eric, we'll pay you pretty much like a head coach come back. Like, what is it going to take? Because one thing about Eric Bieniemy, I watched him do it for years up close. Like, there are coaches who yell and scream, but they pick the guys that they'll yell and scream at. And they're guys who are at the bottom of the roster. And players know, like, yeah, man, you're going to yell at that guy because you can't yell back at you. There are no sacred cows at Eric Bieniemy. He'd scream at Tyreek. He'd scream at Kelsey. He'd scream at Mahomes. He'd do it in public. He'd get right in their face on the sideline. Like, he didn't care. And there was a level of accountability with them that is nowhere to be found in Kansas City right now. There's no accountability. They make mistakes. I mean, think about a couple weeks ago, they lost the game against Buffalo because Kadarius Toney doesn't know how to line up on a football field. Yeah, and on Christmas, the second drive of the game, 3rd and 9, MVS lines up offside. He then proceeded to lead the team in snaps at the receiver position, and he had 0 catches. There's no accountability. Nothing changes. They all just do the same thing over and over. I think they miss Bieniemy more than they would ever admit, maybe even more than they knew. But, I would not be shocked if he gets fired, if he gets a phone call from Kansas City saying, hey, man, what do you need? Because we need you. It's possible.
Yeah, Tony, he won't learn, bro.
No, he will not. I agree. He won't.
I couldn't have been more wrong about that kid. He has so much talent, but this won't stop him every time from ever accomplishing what he could accomplish in the NFL. He just will not get it. It's funny because of Kadarius Toney, I tend to start looking at receivers, and dude, Tyreek on every down will look at the referee. Am I good? And,
of course.
And it's like, dude, that's your responsibility. You know what I mean? And if you're going to line up so all the way inside and the referee's way out on the sideline, you're not going to hear him anyway. So you better make eye contact and make sure and all that. But if you don't even check or whatever, you have no awareness. That's the word for Kadarius Toney in life.
Well, it's
zero awareness of anything in life, bro.
It's amazing. Look, I think a lot of guys in the NFL, they get to the NFL because they won the genetic lottery, and they combine that with they work really hard. They prepare and they get themselves in great shape, and they work at their craft. And those guys go to the NFL because of that combination. Then there are guys who go to the NFL because, look, maybe they weren't athletically the best guy in the world, but they just worked themselves to death to get there.
Drew Van Ginkel.
Perfect example. Right. A guy like that. Hell, Zach Thomas, Zach Thomas was not an athletic, but just a ridiculous work ethic, right?
He was not Junior Seau. He was not Brooks. He was not any of the guys that are going to the Hall of Fame with him in the same freaking era.
Right.
Zach Thomas wasn't any of those guys.
You look at, I always think of a guy I grew up watching, Chris Spielman. Chris Spielman was just a maniac. I mean, he was just an unbelievable player. He was nuts. Then you get the great player who's the combination of all that stuff. Won the genetic lottery, but just works his ass off nonstop and cares. But then you get guys that get to the NFL, man, who it's like they got there on their athletic gifts pretty much alone. Like, hey, I never really studied the game. I never really polished up my route running, and I got to the NFL because I'm a freak show as an athlete, and I've got good enough hands. But when you get to that level, if you don't pay attention to detail, you're not going to be good. You're just not. You may stick around a little bit. It's kind of like the baseball pitcher who throws 100, but it's like, yeah, man, but you never developed a change up and you walk everybody. And that's cool at AA because you're just going to rear back and blow up by the guy when you have to. But when you get to the
Mark Wohlers, you got to wait for 2 years throwing 100 miles an hour, and then they figure it out. There's no movement. You're out of here.
That's great. You can throw 100. That's cool, man. That's a great story. And then guess what? When you throw the ball to Mookie Betts and he knows it's going to be 100 down the pipe, that ball's a rocket ship 450 feet the other direction. Those guys are too good. And when you get to the NFL, you can have all this talent in the world. If you don't know the nuances of the position, that's the one thing the Dolphins fan can appreciate very much as a Chiefs fan. Tyreek Hill, it always used to ruffle my feathers when people be like, well, it's a speed thing. It's a speed. Yes, obviously he's incredibly fast. He's a phenomenal route runner. That's why he gets so much separation. It's because of the speed combined with the ability to cut in and out of breaks and make him. I mean, there are a lot of guys in the NFL who have been as fast as Tyreek Hill in a straight line. But not every guy can complete the picture with being able to get to the catch point in the air, being able to run routes.
The greatest receiver in the game ran a 4.6.
Yes. I mean,
because of his route running, he could slice you apart and he would have 5 yards separation from you at 4.6. Why? Because he knew how to set your ass up.
Yeah. I mean, people don't, it's like running backs. Always laughing. It's like, this guy runs a 4.3. Okay, great. That guy, to me, Marcus Allen's a perfect example of it. It's patience and it's understanding how to set up blocks and moving through that. I mean, you got Larry Zonka probably wouldn't have ran a 4.9, but Larry Zonka was going to run your ass over and he was going to make you miss in the hole. And that was it. Sometimes we overcomplicate. Well, what's this guy's 40 time? What's his shuttle time? Hey, look, man, do you know how to play the sport or do you not? I mean, Steve Largent probably ran a 5 flat. The guy's in the Hall of Fame. Didn't matter. Could run routes with great hands. You get himself open. That stuff is way more important than how fast you can run the straight line. And Kadarius Toney, unfortunately for Kansas City, is the embodiment of that.
Yep, I'm with you there. We had a guy here named Preston Williams who was.
Oh my God, I remember Preston Williams. Yeah,
the Lord blessed him with all the gifts in the world except this. And
I had a scout tell me about him once when they were coming out for the draft. He said, I was talking about different receivers, and I asked him, who do you think the best receiver in the class is? And he said, Preston Williams, but he'll go undrafted because he just can't get it together. And I remember you think undrafted, you think he's the best receiver in the class? He's like, yeah, man, because he's just can't get it together. There's no way anybody's taking a chance on that kid. And he went undrafted.
Franchise talent.
He was unbelievable. I remember watching his tape and being like, oh my God, this guy, I think if I remember right, he went to Colorado and then he transferred to Tennessee or something. And his talent was insane, but he just Couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's it. When you're a mental midget, that's what's going to end up happening. All right, what do you got going on in Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out?
Film studies out today. Quarterback rankings be out tomorrow. Tua's moving on up. We've got matchups to watch this week, as I do every Friday. Got my running column on Sunday.
By the way, I got to give Dak a little love. He played like a man down the stretch. He made some throws, took some hits.
He moved up too.
I know that the Dallas Cowboys lost.
Yes.
Because I know that this was the fraud bowl, and whoever lost takes the title and all that. At the end of the game, I kind of like, hey, bro, I'm not picking on Dak on this one. That dude played pretty well in this game, bro. I can't say, oh my God, it was terrible, and you know what I mean? Oh, he choked in the moment. No, he stepped up pretty big time, bro. I got to give him a little love. You know what I'm saying?
He's also trying to overcome a team that, my God, I'll say one for Miami in that game. Dallas couldn't block him. I mean, the Dolphins were just in the backfield the entire game, and yet Dak did. He's moving up my rankings too. But Tua moved up. They'll be out tomorrow. People can check them out.
Okay. Sean, what was it that what were we supposed to bring up for Matt on the fan? What was it?
Yeah, the one that was going to take the football from the Raider after.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I did. Well, yeah, this dope tried to grab the ball away from a kid, and so Jack Jones had to pull the ball back. Yeah, people like that are the worst. I am not for any kind of.
It wasn't a psych job by Jones. It was.
No, Jones went to hand the ball to the kid, and then some doofus, some grown man, tried to jump over the kid to grab the football because Jones talked about it. He talked about it after the game.
I misunderstood the whole thing. I thought he was going to knock it out.
No,
we don't want Raider football. By the way, that kid there and that parent, they're not raising a good kid there. You're not supposed to accept a football from a Raider fan.
That is true. It is true. It is true. You know what? See, if
Thomas comes up to me and I'm in the stands to hand me a football, I'm going to say, get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't want that shit.
It's like when guys do the Lambeau leap at Green Bay and the fans let them do it, and you're like, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. Some doofus tried to knock the ball or tried to take the ball away, and then Jones pulled it back. But what are you doing?
Did he end up giving it to because I didn't see I only saw
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think so, but I'm not 100%. But there's nothing worse than when you're at a baseball game and some grown man is trampling 20 kids to get a foul ball. Bro, it's a foul ball. I mean, at what point are you there's an age cutoff, right? It's got to be maybe, I don't know, 16, where it's you know what? It's a foul ball, man. Who gives
by the way, grown men should not be taking their gloves to baseball.
No, my God, no, stop it. I mean, if you're in high school,
although I'll give the one grown man the break here. You're there with your kid. He's 6 or 7 or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine because you're catching for the kid.
Catch the ball for him. I get it. Now, if you're there with your buddies and you got a glove, bro, come on.
What are we doing? First of all, if you're a grown man, you can't catch the ball with your bare hands. Okay,
come on.
Then you shouldn't be involved anyway. Second, look, there's nothing worse when I go to training camp tour. Okay, and I do these tours and I go around 8, 9, 10 cities, and you see these little kids trying to get an autograph from a player, and some guy who's my age has 4 full-size helmets, and they're like, Joe, sign this, Joe. It's what is wrong with you? Everybody knows what you're doing. Every single person, let the kid have that memory. You, this dope who's got to get 8 autographs, you can go sell them on eBay and make a it's they're the worst. Those people to me, prison. Put them in prison, life. They're the worst. They're the absolute worst. I hate those people. Every single one of them deserves capital punishment. They're the worst people in the world. Save the kids. Let them have a memory instead of Johnny, who's 48 years old and needs his 19th autograph from Jamar Chase.
It's a beautiful thing. Follow him on Twitter at Matt Veram. Catch his work there at Sports Illustrated. Matt, we'll catch up next week, my friend. Enjoy the football.
Hey, take care, guys.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Matt Veram, another great segment as always. You make me laugh. I got a cough. Oh my God. By the way, the line has changed a little bit. The Ravens are favored by 3.5 now, not 3. Over and unders 47. Ravens minus 175. The Dolphins are plus 145. How about that? What else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, let me tell you a little bit about Cutter's Edge Pro. We love talking about Cutter's Edge Pro and our guy, William Quigley. He is the man, the myth, the legend. Nobody better. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach. They are your total landscape solution. Lawn, landscape maintenance for medium to large HOA condominiums, corporate parks, large commercial buildings. They do it all in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. They got like 70 trucks. They're all over the place. I'm telling you, synthetic turf. If you have dogs, synthetic turf is the greatest invention in mankind. But make sure you get the right people to install it, like Cutter's Edge Pro. Because I had a buddy of mine. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to say who he is because I wouldn't do that to him. But he got artificial turf after I got mine. But he chose not to call Cutter's Edge Pro. He's had it on for 3 months. There's grass growing through it. You know, you get what you pay for, dude. You know, and so now he's in the middle of battling with them on this, that, and then, you know, and I've had mine now for like, I think like a year and a half now, maybe. Not one blade of grass because it's done right. And the trees, they're done right. You know, when you get a tree installed, you're going to get a healthy tree, not some little skinny ass tree that they're charging you a lot. They didn't pay nearly as much. You know what I'm saying? Cutter's Edge Pro, you expect excellence. Okay, you want it to look great. And when it's done, when Mike is done, it's going to look phenomenal. So please call him. It's going to make a complete difference, and it's going to raise the value of your home right away, your HOA complex, your business. 954-472-0622, cuttersedgepro.com. Go to the Instagram page so you can see the work that they've done. I even had a putting green installed on the side of my house. So me, the wife, my daughter, we kind of have some fun on weekends, you know, and go out there and talk and whack the ball a couple times and have some fun, crank the music up. Dogs are running around, having some fun. It's really cool stuff. I'm going to film a new video next week because I want to show you some stuff on the backyard. It's grown up so much from the prior videos that we've done. So go check it out, cuttersedgepro.com. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And Gordon Shumway, a little love on the super chat. He says, I saw an episode of Impractical Jokers where one of their guys took all of the autographed baseballs at a game and not let the kids get any. The guy felt so bad that in the end he gave the balls to the kids, all the balls to the kids. Yeah, that's what you should do. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, have you ever listened to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album? Amazing. Yes. I think I've heard it like maybe thousands of times. Yes, it's an incredible album. You should listen to The Wall and Wish You Were Here. Okay? You should learn to fly. Dolphins have to deal with the best two running QBs in the next two games, Lamar and Allen. Man, not a big deal. Just find a way to win. Let's see. What else do we have here? Big O making me feel bad for celebrating the Miami Miracle. Hey, we beat the Pats. I always celebrate beating the Jets. You know what I mean. Okay? It's pathetic. Okay? The last 25 years have been pathetic. We have nothing to celebrate of substance. It's all bullshit little moments because we didn't have a real team. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's not that I make you feel bad. I don't want to make you feel bad, but I just am honest about it. And as a guy that's lived the greatness and then lived the real crappiness, you know what I mean? I really appreciate when we're getting back to being great again, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Hateful Steve, by the way, he had a doozy, right? So, he first tells me that in 4 games against winning teams, 2 has 4 touchdowns, 4 epic performances, by the way, being a smartass. But we're supposed to believe he's going to beat this Ravens team. I can't wait to hear the evidence that backs up that prediction. Well, he's beat him the last 2 years, right? Great performance. So he follows up. He goes, let's be honest with viewers, please. That 2021 Baltimore win wasn't some epic performance by Tua. The defense won that game, and you shouldn't rob them of their due credit. Tua did well managing the second half as backups with no game plan, but that's it. Okay, see, here's the problem with Steve and why he's completely unfair. In that game against Baltimore 2 years ago, you have no coach. You have no offense. You have no offensive line. You have no running game. You have one weapon. That's it. One weapon, Waddle. And you beat Baltimore. Off the bench, you made plays when you had to make plays. You made throws when you had to make throws. But that was a defensive-oriented team. You see how Mahomes can't do shit? When you don't have shit, and he has Kelsey and at least Rashee Rice. Waddle was the only thing Miami had, and they had him running 4-yard routes. So the team is the team, but he figured out a way to win. So you give him no credit for winning. And then the following year, he didn't manage anything beautifully. He dominated. He threw 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions last year against the Ravens. And then he goes, I specifically said the defense won the 2021 Baltimore game. 2 had great numbers in 22 early in the season. That's awesome. Where has that been against winning teams this year? Roast that question. So but that wasn't the question. The question was, you brought up Steve, and I appreciate the Venmo and the donations, but you're completely unfair. You said, how are we supposed to believe that he's going to beat Baltimore? Why not? He's beaten them twice the last 2 years. You just refused to admit it. He dominated their ass with 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in a game where he had an offense. And he beat them when he didn't have an offense. Didn't have a coach that even wanted him on the field. He didn't even practice that week. He took no first-team reps and beat Baltimore 2 years ago. How is that not impressive? Why? Because the numbers aren't great? Well, you're not going to come up with great numbers with that offense, Steve. That's the problem, Steve. You are not objective, my brother. So how am I supposed to believe it? He's already beaten him the last 2 years. Why can't he beat him again? I think Tua can beat him again. Anyway, Ethereum is up nearly 7%. It's approaching 2,400 again, 2,370. Polygon is at $1.07. It's up 13%. ADA's up to 63 cents, up 3%. Atom Cosmos up 3% over $12. I like it. HBAR over 9 cents at 2%. Chainlink is up at $16.51. It's up 9%. Illuvium is up to $107, up 7%. Gala Games approaching 3.5 cents. It's up 2.75. Jasmy up 2.3%, up to 73 thousandth of a penny. Immutable X is up almost 9%, approaching $2.50. It's at $2.49. Alethea is up almost 4%, up to almost 2.5 cents, 2.44. And Bitcoin is over 43,000 now at 43,113, approaching 2%. For you Solana folks, Solana is down 4.5, but it's been on such a run. It's at $107. It was all the way up to 113. So it's expected to come back a little bit. It's had such a great run. Those are some of the coins doing well in the world of crypto. Stock market, by the way, Dow Jones is up 75 points. The S&P is up 2.5 points. And the NASDAQ barely up a 20th of a point. A fifth of a point, in other words, basically. All right. We love what we're seeing. What else? Jared Smalley, thank you for the love in the super chat, sir. Who do you think steps in for Waddle? I think it's going to be Cedric. Cedric should be the guy. They should use others, mix it up, but I would imagine Cedric will be the opposite starter of Tyreek, and then you'll use Barrios. I hope they can sprinkle in a little Claypool, Craycraft, what's it called? Smythe, obviously, and then use the running backs too coming out of the backfield. Sources, the Broncos are strongly considering having Russell Wilson sit for the final 2 games, preserving financial flexibility for the offseason. Wilson has $37 million in a 2025 salary that vets in March of 2024, and if he suffers a serious injury, it would complicate matters. So, there you go. All right. Kind of expected that they would do something like that, right? Ravens by 10 points this Sunday based off the best I've seen this defense since early 2000s. Having lived through all of a couple of Dolphin seasons, this is the best and complete team I've seen since the 70s. It is. It is. I haven't been able to look at crypto. You mentioned, what's it called again? You talk about the new one I mentioned? Neutron. Oh, by the way, what happened to Neutron so far? Neutron was at $1.22, $1.20. Let me see if it's gone down a little bit more or gone up. Let's see where we're at now with Neutron. It's at $1.20 right now. Neutron. Okay. Doing the Neutron dance. Everybody's doing it. Yep, $1.20. It's at $1.20 because I am $1.20. Thank you. Let's pick up a little bit more at $1.20. So doing the Neutron dance. By the way, little thing with Neutron. Neutron is going to handle all the smart contracts on the Cosmos ecosystem. And one of the things that they've done with that blockchain, its interoperability is phenomenal because it connects everything. And it even connects to other blockchains that are not on the Cosmos ecosystem. So it can connect to Ethereum and it can connect to ecosystems in other places. Okay. VeChain, whatever, if it wants to do business, if you've got a business that's in the Cosmos ecosystem and then it wants to go to do business with something that's in Ethereum, it could actually do it because they can do all the smart contracts there on Neutron. And then Neutron is also going to run the DeFi for Cosmos, which is something that they're building up on Cosmos now. So that's why I am I'm very intrigued with Neutron. Neutron has had a run, okay? Like it was in the 30 to 60 cent range. It's up to $1.20 now. So it's had a nice run here, but the market cap is so low. It's only it's only a few hundred million. This thing can multiply into billions over and over. And the reason why I look at it this way, Injective Protocol is another one that I gave you last August in 2022, not 2023. Last August at $1.43, and Injective right now, and it handles smart contracts and DeFi protocol. And so where is it at right now? Okay, I got it at $1.43 2 Augusts ago. It's at $39. And so, and right now, I look at Neutron, and I'll give you an example. The market cap is 331 million. Okay. Let me give you the market cap. Okay. Hold on a second. Whoa, I've added a new badge. I'm an ace trader. That's what they say on crypto.com. I'm an ace trader. Thank you. It's very nice of you. So Injective, right? The market cap for Injective is 3.27 billion. So I kind of think this might go in the same kind of trajectory. I may be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch or anything like that. But I got to mention it because it's something that I like, and I think it has a ton of potential, and it's an aspect of the Cosmos ecosystem that needs to improve, and this is part of it. So I think Neutron is going to become a monster in the Cosmos ecosystem. We shall see, right? But I got a small bag on it. So there you go. Okay. What else do we have here? Dolphins can beat the Ravens with pressure and a spy on Jackson. They can beat the Ravens like they've beaten them the last 2 years, bro. Radio host, does the matchup with the Ravens run D favor a possible breakout game for a Chan? See, here's the thing with the Achan thing, radio host, that I want you to take into account. Achan doesn't have the body to have a ton of carries, and he's already had injuries this year. You got to give him piecemeal. So breakout is make a couple big plays, but I just don't think we're going to get to the point where you're giving him 12 carries in a game or something. He's probably going to be in the 3 to 7 range. I don't think you're going to get a ton of carries for him right now. So it's more of a, not necessarily a breakout, but have a couple of big play moments. And he can do that in this game because he can do it against any defense because he's got that kind of skill set. But the way Mostert and him are doing it, I'd also like to see Chris Brooks. And I've been telling you this for the last couple of weeks. I just think he brings a physical element to the game along with Jeff Wilson that I think is important for the Dolphins. Let's see. Lamar Jackson's cut list should accept the reality that he's a middle-of-the-pack QB at every metric. He trails 2 in yards, completion percentage, average, TDs, QBR, and has 10 more sacks. His only stat is rushing. I tell you guys what he is. He's just a phenomenal athlete, and he's going to wow you at times because he's going to make some plays. He's not a real quarterback, dude. He can't sit there and make one deliberate, exceptional pass after another. His accuracy is not very good. His receivers have to constantly turn around and stop or whatever, or he's overthrowing or underthrowing. It's just he'll buy himself some time. He'll make some plays. He'll scramble around. It's kind of like a sandlot offense. And that's the only reason why I don't respect it, because in the end, you need so much to go your way every week in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl and to win it. I just don't think you win this way. It's not an offense that there's real structure. It's kind of, you're kind of making it as you go along, and just watch it. Really, really watch it. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? Phenomenal athlete. Not a passer. It's just the way it is. Finn's front four must maintain their lanes and pressure the running QB as well as a spy. We will see. Injected $3.2 million in a bear market. Yep. That's the other thing. It went in a bear market. Yeah, that was probably my greatest play so far, until some of the other ones beat it, which they will. But for now, those of you that got on the injective protocol, you're winning big time. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. And we love Alan Blanco and the great people there at 3A Graphics. Custom printing and embroidery if your company needs it. Man, you got to call 3A Graphics. They do great work. Tonight, the Panthers are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning on the road. 7 o'clock face-off. The Heat are off tonight, Thursday, 10 o'clock. They visit the Warriors. NBA TV will carry that, by the way. Thursday night football, Jets are at the Browns. We get a terrible game. The Browns are favored by 7.5. The over and under is 35. Jets plus 270. Browns minus 340. Dolphins, 1 o'clock kickoff against the Ravens. We will be at Walk-Ons in Kendall. All right, Ravens favored by 3.5. Up half a point now. They were favored by 3. Over and under is 47. Dolphins plus 145 on the money line. The Ravens are minus 175 on the money line. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Yesterday, Hard Knocks. And you guys know it if you watch the show. I look forward to this Hard Knocks. I wanted this to happen. I knew it would be good for our team. I knew it would be fun for Dolphin fans to watch. Your leadership in that locker room is second to none. You got great character in that locker room all throughout. And the camaraderie, the chemistry, yesterday wasn't anything about drama. They showed the moment where McDaniel, tells Tua, yeah, we're going for it. Let's go. And he calls the play on the stupid 4th down that he doesn't take the field goal early in the game, which he should have. But overall, the Raheem segment where he's back at New Smyrna, has got the toy drive going on, all that stuff. Cater Kohu and his family, obviously really cool. And the kids say, wow, I gotta start using Andrew Van Ginkel in Madden and all that. And by the way, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for you, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm sorry. I mean, if you're a Dolphins fan, you should have watched it last night. I'm just saying. If you're a hardcore Dolphins fan, you should have been watching at 9 o'clock. Old school style, ready to go. That's how I am. I'm sorry. I watch most everything recorded, except live games, of course. But most pre-recorded shows, I watch them all on demand. This is one that I've watched live every single time, I think, pretty much. But anyway, the QBs giving gifts, Tua giving all the quarterbacks the golf bags and everything. And then, obviously, Marino with the classic isotoner gloves, which he did not spend one penny on those gloves. I wonder if Marino had, like, he has like a couple of boxes at home of isotoner gloves, and he has just a stash there, and then he can whip them out whenever he wants. And he goes, "Hey, I'm going to the quarterback room today. Let me take some isotoner gloves for everybody." I wonder. But anyway, so it was so cool. And watching Tua give, it, you know, I'm a lot like Tua in that sense. I get a kick out of giving, actually. I really enjoy that. It's cool to get gifts and all that, but I really enjoy giving gifts. I get more a kick out of watching somebody be happy with a gift. Nothing makes me more depressed than giving somebody a gift and then I don't come through with it. They don't like it. That kind of sucks. That, happened to me a couple times that I didn't get the right gift or something. That's the only time it's bad. But outside of that, I love giving gifts. So that was really cool. And Marino was like, day after the Super Bowl, we'll go golfing, which I'm sure he means like the week after, 2 weeks after, because they'll be kind of sore. They'll be celebrating, all that kind of stuff. Yes, sir.
Tyreek was a little upset. He tweeted out today that, wait a minute, the quarterbacks got golf simulators. The wide receivers only got iPads from Tua.
Well, you know how it is. The quarterbacks are the ones that are good at golf. The receivers probably not so good. So it's probably what it is. Tua knows that the quarterbacks are going to take the golfing a lot more serious, So Tyreek's going to have to live with it, unfortunately. He's got the ping pong table. The other by the way, Joe Cimini. I've known Joe for the 30 years he's been there. The equipment guy. I've known Joe since he was an intern there. Okay. One of the best dudes you'll meet. Really good dude. I am really happy and proud that HBO shows, the other people that mean a lot and do a lot for the team. The dedication that comes from the equipment people and the training staff. I just want you to know that their passion is as deep as any fan out there and maybe even deeper. Those people are so. Charlie's another one that I've known for easily 30 years, and he's been there forever. And some of these other guys, I think the trainer, the tall, skinny trainer, I think his name is Ryan is his first name, if I remember correctly. But he's been there forever also. But I'm telling you, as a guy that has met a lot of these people, know some of these people, watch these people work, okay? The media relations staff, there's a level of incredible loyalty to the team, right? And you feel it from the equipment people. You feel it from the trainers. These people sweat and care emotionally as much as anybody about the team. And when Joe tells you how much this means to him, let me tell you, he's 100% telling you the truth. Okay? The dedication, it's more than money to do that job because it is long ass hours. There has to be a level of passion and that you have to care about the team. There has to be, because you just don't do that job and treat it like a job, because you're such an integral part of the team on a daily basis. Whether it's Vera, it doesn't matter which media relations person that you're talking about that's involved with the team, Renzo, any of the people that you see there, their dedication is second to none. So I just want to reiterate that, because I don't think fans and media in general, the beat guys that are there a lot and have been there over the years, they know what I'm talking about. these people bleed orange and aqua, dude. Like no one else. It's a job and they get paid, but they care. They are vested. And when they lose, it pains these people. Okay? Because they work. They may not be catching the footballs or blocking, but they're doing all the integral parts that players and teams. So when Alec Ingold goes and tells Joe how important he is and all that, he really is, actually. He truly is. And so when you see these people out there and you just see them, throwing a football to a receiver or moving a dummy or helping out medically or doing something in media relations or something, have, as a fan, I'm just telling you, show a little appreciation to those people. They deserve every ounce of love that you can give them because they are part of the team. They really are. They really are. They're an integral part of the team, but we never talk about it and we never give them credit. We never appreciate it. So I'm glad that Hard Knocks did that with Joe yesterday, and knowing Joe, he's what a great dude, man. Great dude. Just a great dude. And a guy truly, truly cares, about the team. So just want you to know, and when you see these people, and any of them, they are pretty special people. Let's see, what else do we have here? Joe has seen all the coaches, from the best coach of all time in Don Shula to the worst coach of all time in Cam Cameron. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Let's see. Purdy was horrible versus the Ravens. Yeah. Well, the team was. He was to blame for 2 of the 4 interceptions. If you're fair to the kid, he was. You shouldn't blame him for all 4 interceptions. Big O, with no Baker and Holland questionable, who do you think will play QB spy? It would have to be Riley. Probably. Or Brandon Jones, maybe? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Or maybe they switch it up, depending on what side of the field he's on. Keep Lamar in the pocket, and he will start to make mistakes. Exactly. Make him a passer, and you'll be fine. And you'll definitely create some havoc for him. Let's see, what else do we have? All right, let's get to a little music and entertainment. How about that? Why don't we? Let's get to that. First of all, let's start off with birthdays today on December 27th. Let's see. Walker Hayes, country singer. I have no idea if he's a big country singer, but he's 44. Brock Purdy is 24 years old today. Bill Goldberg, wrestler, is 57. Not a strong list today. Nick Chubb, 28. Emile DeRaven, actress, 42. Oh, China, wrestler. We lost her in 2016. She was born on this date in 1969. I remember China. She used to dress very provocative, right? If I remember correctly. TV actress Chloe Bridges is 32. Okay, you got to tell me, Sean. Claudio Castagnoli, wrestler, 43. Yeah, I got 2 thumbs up. Okay. All right. Didn't sound too legit there. Pleasure P, R&B singer. I have no idea who that guy is. 39. I don't even know if he ever had a hit in his life. Our American R&B singer, also known as Marcus Cooper, has worked successfully in group collaborations as well as singing solo. In other words, he's got nothing. Okay. So I guess Master P and Pleasure P. Apparently there's a famous chess player named Emery Tate that had a birthday today. He was born in 58 on this date. We lost him in 2015. I only know Kasparov. That's like the only chess player I know. I don't think do I know another chess player? Bobby Fischer? Was he like real or was that a movie? I don't know. All right. Music wise, let's go with a little music history today. How about that? All right. First of all, Kiss, by the way, has announced they had their final show in Madison Square Garden. So now they're continuing their legacy as avatars and previewed the future with an avatar performance, God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Now they have a first date, or at least year, 2027. The band shared a teaser video on YouTube with the description that reads, 50 years is a long time. What the future holds is in the making. We can be forever young and forever iconic by taking us to places we've never dreamed before. Gene Simmons said in a statement, with avatars created by George Lucas, visual effects company Industrial Light and Magic, the technology is going to make Paul Stanley jump higher than he's ever done before. I saw this whole thing, and I will say this, it's cheesy. I have no interest in watching Avatar concerts of a band when, I already saw the real deal many times over. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that I'm actually looking forward to. I kind of find it kind of bogus that I'm better off watching a movie of a concert of yours instead, which I can do that on YouTube all the time with Kiss, and see some classic concerts too. In 1969, on this date, the top 3 albums on the Billboard 200 were Led Zeppelin 2, the Beatles' Abbey Road, and the Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed. It's pretty good. In 2008, on this date, thieves broke into a house belonging to the Allman Brothers singer and keyboardist Greg Allman in Georgia and stole a coin collection, knives, and an unreleased concert recording. 2 men were charged with the burglary 2 days later. In 75, on this date, Queen had their first ever #1 album with A Night at the Opera, topped the charts in the UK. Night at the Opera is the one with Bohemian Rhapsody, isn't it? I think so. I want to say Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You is from A Night at the Opera. In 85, on this date, Metallica completed work on their 3rd studio album, Masters of Puppets. Or Master of Puppets, that is. Not Masters. In 99, Bush appeared on the TRL to premiere the video to their hit song, Letting the Cables Sleep. And that is what happened today in Musica history. All right. Yes. By the way, somebody reported that Ozzy Osbourne was dead yesterday. And Ozzy wanted to remind people that he's not dead. He says, "I'm not dead," the iconic singer declared on the latest episode of the Osbournes podcast. "I'm not going any effing where. I'm going to go up and do some more gigs before I'm finished anyway. Ozzy explained he was caught off guard by a video that was circulating online that he had passed. The thing on YouTube, it's got celebrities who died today. And there's a picture of me. And I go, I'm not dead. I'm not really dead. Just a little flesh wound, the rocker continued jokingly. Monty Python line. It's a bit effing much, isn't it? So Ozzy went on to note that the clickbait video was strategically phased to avoid any potential lawsuits. What they do is they kind of say you're deadish, he explained. It's kind of weird the way they word it. There's so many sick effers out there, added his wife Sharon. Meanwhile, Ozzy's son Jack offered a wry suggestion. We'll do a Viking burial, he quipped. I'll shoot a flaming arrow on your raft. Anyways, so Ozzy is not dead, folks. He is still alive and kicking. All right. One more thing yesterday. Sean, did you watch Hard Knocks? No, right? You did. Dude, Christian Wilkins almost killed Stephen Ross. Jesus Christ, Christian. You got to stop landing on people. So he's celebrating in the locker room, and he body ups Tom Garfinkel. But you know what? Tom is young enough that you could kind of get away with it, you know. But then he runs up to Stephen Ross and chest bumps him. And I'm like, the dude's 85. You know, and Stephen Ross wants to be one of the guys, and he's kind of like, I'm sorry if I'm ruining it for you. Got to go see it if you haven't seen it. But listen, you know, the man's 85. Christian. No. Not a good idea, Christian. Okay? No chest bumping. No collisions with an 85-year-old man. Okay? That dude falls, he could die. That's what happens to us when we're 85. We can't even fall at 85 because it's not good to fall at 85. I'm just saying, Christian. Okay? You want to get that new contract? Killing the owner is not going to help you.
Maybe that's why he did it. Maybe that's why he's bodying him up, because he won't give him the contract. No, but I'll just say, every time I feel so bad for Dan Marino with Christian Wilkins, because he grabs him and he like bear hugs him and he swings it. I'm like, dude, you're going to put him down. The Achilles is going to pop again here, buddy. Swing Uncle Dan around.
Yes. Christian Wilkins should not be allowed to celebrate with anybody. He doesn't know how to celebrate. He injures people. He gets crazy. No more celebrating for him. Jesus. That was nuts. Anyway. Alf says 49ers had 429 yards and 6.3 yards per play. The turnovers saved the Ravens. Yeah. Dude, you know what it is to have 3 turnovers and you're only leading 13-12? I mean, you know, it doesn't mean your offense is very good. So I'm with you all the way, Alf. Chad says, Mountain Man, I hope not. He will struggle, I feel. Riley seems like the best choice. I thought maybe AVG too. JS1 Big O, have you seen this shit? Mad Dog Russo was talking about us. No, I can't listen to that guy. You know, I know I worked at the channel and all that, but I mean, this is a guy that's still doing baseball trivia on his show from the 1950s. I mean, his act is so old and tired. You know what I mean? That it's sad, actually. You know? Yeah, China was a true Amazon. I do remember that she was a big woman. Yes. dude, I don't watch Mad Dog. I don't watch Cow Turd. So I never know what these idiots are saying. It's you guys that then, bring it to me. You send me a video or something, and I can't watch these people. Skip Baseless. I can't even watch his commercial. They're at the funeral, and that is a terrible commercial. And then you got the other two idiots just pulling a check, having to do the show with that idiot. Whatever. I just, if I don't like somebody and I don't think they're very good, why am I going to listen? I'm different than you guys in that sense. I've learned that the general public will watch people they don't like, will listen, will view, will whatever. Like, you may not like Cow Turd, but a bunch of you watch them. You can't help yourselves. I could easily help myself. I don't watch any of them. I have no interest in watching any of them. So that's when you ask me, hey, did you see what Cow Turd said, or Mad Dog Russo or Stephen A, or I don't really have a lot of respect for those people and their sports knowledge in general. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times they're just trolls. So that's the reason why you'll never hear me. Oh yeah, I know what he said. I don't really keep up with it. So I don't know what Mad Dog said, and I really don't give a shit, to be quite honest. Is this the week that McDaniel unleashes Claypool? We'll find out. Cool Beans, thank you for the love in the super chat. Mad Dog is so loopy, he started talking about the JFK assassination about a month ago on First Take. Dude is losing it. Really? Yeah, he's... I can't watch any of that stuff. So, sorry. I'm a little different in that sense. If I have no use for you, I have no use for you. So, what else do we have here? Engine, one of your best picks. Glad I listened to you on that one. Yeah. Not Engine, Injective. Yes. Injective was a beautiful thing, dude. Absolutely beautiful. You know what's not beautiful? The Detroit Pistons are not beautiful. That is one broken down engine. That is some rusty ass pistons in that engine. I mean, the malice is inside, the team. So they yesterday lost their 27th in a row by losing to the Nets 118-112. The longest losing streak inside a season was the Cavaliers for 26 in the 2010-2011 season, and the Sixers of 2013-2014. The longest overall streak is 28 by the 76ers, where they did it through two seasons, 14-15, and then the following season. Trust the process. So Thursday, they go to tie the record of 28 losses in a row at Boston. Should be 28 in a row. And then they will own the overall record, top losing streak ever of 29 straight, and it's going to be done within a season, Saturday against the Raptors. It'll be in Detroit, so at least Detroit will be home. But the Raptors know that they either can be the team that stopped them from breaking the record, or could be the team that handed them the record. We shall see. I don't expect Boston for Detroit to win, but Saturday, You know, Saturday might even be the day where you take the points because Detroit will be so desperate. I mean, yesterday you can tell that that team did not want to add to it. And it's like it's already taken a toll on them, but it's just like it's wearing them down that they've got to continue to lose, dude. I mean, think about how incompetent you've got to be to lose 27 straight games. Remember, we had a basketball team here that won 27 straight once. Am I not right? Wasn't it 27 straight? I want to say the Heat record is 27 straight wins. So your basketball team owns a personal best that is the polar opposite of what the Detroit Pistons are currently doing right now. One of your basketball teams won 27 in a row. Here's a basketball team that has lost 27 in a row. Can you imagine? And boy, that run of 27, that was a fun run. Remember how many times they were down like by 10 and 15 and 18 points, and they had to like storm back in order to win the game and keep the streak alive? That was funny. That was fun. That was fun. That was good times back in the Big 3 days. Big O, good afternoon. Howard Stern is a guy that people listen to because they want to know what is the next outrageous thing that he will say. I don't think you're confusing outrageous with stupid. The things that these morons say, it's just stupid. Howard, it's like a Neil thing. You were tuning in to see who he's going to rip or something that a point he's going to make that is a touchy subject or something, but it's something that most people won't talk about, but he'll do it. So it's a different kind of, it's a good shock. That's how I'll say with Howard. That's a good shock that you're going to get from Howard Stern. What you're getting from Screamin' A or Mad Dog or Cow Turd or Skip Baseless, you're getting stupid trolling shit. You're getting bait crap, clickbait crap. It's what you're getting. You know, that's what you're getting from these guys. It's a huge difference. It's the kind of shit that I don't care about, don't want to hear. Howard Stern, I have no problem hearing what he's got to say because he's probably going to take on a controversial subject. He's probably going to take on someone that's controversial. He's probably going to rip someone that did something really stupid or said something really stupid. So that's the kind of stuff I don't mind listening to. Reminds me a lot of Neil Rogers. And when you knew something locally went on, the next day you were like, oh shit, wait till Neil gets a hold of this. That's how it was. So you weren't listening for some ridiculous shock value. You were listening because you were going to hear something that you wish you could say, something you thought of. You're just happy that he can say it and express your opinion through his mic. That's the difference. That's where I would put Howard Stern and Neil Rogers in a completely different stratosphere than the morons that I just talked about. And anybody that lived the era of Neil and follows Howard, you know what I'm talking about. I think pretty much most of you will agree. Yep, keep Christian away from any celebrations. That's right. So I wonder how the trust the process is doing with all the championships they've won with the 76ers. Amazing, right? Some great stuff going on there. The original Mad Dog tight end Jim Mandich played for the Dolphins. God bless his family and anyone who has a copy of a person nickname who passed away isn't a person who I listen to either. Right, I got you. I agree. Stephen A has an obsession with the Dallas fans. He does because he loves making fun of Dallas. That's why. It's not so much the Dallas fans. The Dallas fans are trapped under the bus, but he likes to make fun of the Cowboys because they constantly fall short. Now Howard turned into the crap he fought all his life for. Howard. Oh, Howard Stern, you mean? Really? I don't know. I can't say I listen to him every day. But every once in a while I'll get a segment on YouTube and I'll check it out. But I've never been the guy that listens to his show daily, but I do like him. He's a good interviewer. If Kelsey becomes available, can the Finns make a move? You talking about Travis Kelsey? I don't know if you want to anymore. I'm not exactly sure with Travis Kelsey. What's his deal, dude? I think he's close to retiring. That's what I say. Okay. I think he's pretty much close to tying it up. All right, we are out of here, folks. We thank Matt Verderam and Cameron Wolf. Post those interviews in a little bit. We appreciate all of you that tuned in. Those of you that send in a super chat, thank you. Remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Big O, this is why I listen to you, because you always seem to give us a better perspective and you make a subject or personal. Big O, you are the best. I'm glad you bring us awesome content. Thank you, Super V. Dougie Fresh. MMA question for Sean. UFC was first dominated by Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, the Gracie brothers. Then wrestlers and strikers. Now fighters are well-rounded. Are the days of a specialist in one fighting style over with?
I'm going to say no, just because if you can get a good wrestler and you can get them down on the ground, but they got to be elite. Now, I'm not talking you can't just know wrestling. You have to be elite, and you got to be able to take them down. And then also in the MMA, one punch, if you're a good enough striker, you can just stand there and knock anybody out. So it's close to being over with, but there's still, if you have an elite wrestler and they can get them to the ground, and again, they have to execute though. But I think if you have an elite puncher or elite wrestler, they can get away with that for a little while. You're going to come across somebody that isn't, but I don't think anybody's well-rounded enough to where they're elite in every aspect of it.
Okay. How I became a Dolphins fan? My dad. We were right in the heart of the 70s teams, because when the 70s teams won, I was 6, 7, and 8 years old. And we used to watch the games always on Sundays. And then when I turned 7, we got season tickets. And we had box seats on the 20 or 30 yard line of the visitors. Hated those box seats, by the way. I mean, I was spoiled to be down in the box, but the players, when they were standing, it would get in the way of the sidelines. You couldn't see the sidelines at times. So, that's how I became a Dolphins fan. My dad was a sick Dolphins fan. So he'd watch all the games religiously. And so I was there with him watching and, giving him 5 every time we scored and that kind of stuff. So that's how I became a Dolphins fan. Dad just, watching the games and then taking me to the games. And the rest is history, my brother. I will always be a Dolphins fan. So that's it. All right, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thanks to Matt Verderam. Thanks to Cameron Wolf. Thanks to Sean Stanley. Don't forget, Sunday, we're going to be at Walk-Ons in Kendall. We'll have a ton of prizes. We'll be giving away stuff in every single quarter and at the 2-minute warning. So come on by and join us. We'll be at Walk-Ons in Kendall this Sunday, starting off at 11 a.m. with the pregame show, and we'll have a happy postgame show as we'll be talking about a victory with the Dolphins defeating the Ravens. We'll see you all tomorrow live from Hialeah Park Casino. We'll be there in the afternoon, same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the big